And all right, so we're going to work through some of these genetic problems together. The first one, it says that the dominant is capital A, and that is for axial, meaning at the end of the flower. The recessive is lowercase a, and that is terminal. Whoop, real quick. And I spelled that wrong. But axial, sorry, means in the middle of the flower. Terminal means on the end. So it says you have a homozygous axial crossed with the terminal, and the only way you can get terminal is two little a's. So our first one for A, homozygous axial would be two capital A's. Homozygous terminal would be two lowercase a's. So this is what I would have as I bring them together. And it says, give the expected phenotypic ratio. Phenotypic is what they look like. So what does this kid look like? This kid, this kid, this kid. If they have a capital A, they have a terminal position or axial position. So in this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 4 have an axial position, and so that would be 100% on that phenotypic ratio. For B, it says cross a heterozygote, so that means one of each, with a terminal parent. The only way you can get terminal is two lowercase. So I would have this, because you just do that. And this to that is the way. There we go. So if they have a capital letter, they have axial, so it looks like 2 out of 4 are axial, so that's 50%. And then these, the only way to get terminal is have two little a's, so it looks like 2 out of 4 are terminal, and I for sure can't spell, so that's 50%. On this third one, it says you're crossing heterozygote with heterozygote. See, and again, heterozygote is one of each. So I would have this and this, this and that, this and this, and this and this. So if it has a capital letter, it's axial. So I have 3 out of 4 that are axial. So that's 75%. And what the only way to get terminal is two little a's. So 1 out of 4 is terminal. So that's 25%. The other way that you could write these when it asks specifically for ratios, it's 75-25, so that would be 3 to 1. This one was 50-50. So you could write it 1 to 1 or 2 to 2, because when you reduce 2 to 2, that is 1 to 1. And here, it would just be 100%. Okay, on the second question, it says that dominant is horned, so a cow with horns. Recessive is hornless. It says you have a bull that is horned, so for sure it has a capital letter. It doesn't say how it's horned. It doesn't say if it's homozygous or heterozygous, and it's bred with two cows. Cow A, so it looks like we're going to have two problems here. Cow A is hornless. The only way you can get hornless is if you have two little H's. And I'm going to go ahead and set up, here's my bull across the top. And they produce a horned calf. So a horned calf is produced. That means one of the calves has to have a capital H, okay? With cow B, who is also hornless, a hornless calf is produced. Oh, I put B's, but they're H's. Okay, so hornless calf. The only way we could have, we're trying to figure out, it looks like, is what the dad is, because the dad's the same in both cases. So if we mix these right here, these for sure are all horned cows because they have the capital H. The only way we're going to get hornless is if we have two little H's. So the only way we could get two little H's is if the dad is a heterozygote. So that would finish this. Now, again, it told us what the moms were, and it told us that the dad had horns, so that means he has to have a capital letter. But it didn't tell us how he was horned, if he was heterozygote or homozygote. So that's how I filled these out. In the first one, it says cow A, which is hornless, produced a horned calf. Well, we have a horned calf, so that's there. Cow B was also hornless, but they produced a hornless calf, and here's hornless. So we've met those criteria. The question asks, what are the genotypes of the bull and the two cows? So the bull would be the male, and his genotype is capital H, lowercase h. Cow A would be two lowercase h's. Cow B would be two lowercase h's. Okay, again, these problems, and you're making sure you can set them up, and you analyze the question to make sure that you've met all those criteria. Okay, on question 3, it says that albinism is due to a recessive gene. So the only way you could be albino is if you have lowercase. An albino man, so the only way he could be albino is to have two little a's, married a woman with normal skin. Okay, so capital A would be normal. Normal skin, and that's why I put a capital A there, because I know she has normal skin. But it says who had an albino mother. If she had an albino mother, she has to be a carrier for albinism because her mom had two little letters. Show the types of children this couple may have and the ratios for each. So we cross it like we would normally cross it. Okay, and it looks like I would have 2 out of 4 or 50% chance of having a kid that had normal pigmentation. And a 50% chance of having a kid that was albino. So here I have the phenotypes and I also have the genotypes. So I have my genotypic ratio, my phenotypic, 1 to 1, or like I said earlier, it can be 2 to 2. Okay, on this next problem, it says that we have a man with cystic fibrosis of the pancreas, which it's and who marries a young woman whose family has never had an individual born with that disorder. Cystic fibrosis is an inborn error of metabolism. It's a recessive, okay? So little c means you have cystic fibrosis, which means capital C means you're normal. It says, could this couple have a child with cystic fibrosis? Okay, so the dad for sure has two little c's because he has cystic fibrosis. And it says that the woman has never, nobody in her family has ever had it, so there's no chance that she's a carrier. Okay, so here would be the cross for all their kids. And the question says, could this couple have a child with cystic fibrosis? The answer is no. Write all the possible genotypes for the man, the woman, and the children. So the man is this, the woman is this, and the children would have to be capital little.